And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Flatout Racing Network's coverage of the home stretch of the ASR Superspeedway Series, a series that has been filled with parity. Several different drivers have found victory lane. We're getting ready to cover the final four races of the season, and if the lead up to tonight and these final four races any indication, we are going to be in for a wild final four races to close this thing out for the championship. 1 point is the separation between first and second in the standings coming into tonight's event from Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway. Seth Cole alongside of Michael Norman, and Michael, kind of some familiar territory for us. We've seen the Aero 88 cars take to this racetrack before on Thursday nights, so kind of have a bit of a playbook here of what to expect, but some newer names that we haven't seen before and some familiar ones. What can we expect to see here this evening for 66 laps?
Well, I mean, we know the outside lane is going to be one of the more dominant parts of the racetrack here, especially off the corners, because the inside lane, you just slide up enough off the corner that you lose your speed by at least 1 mile per hour. But that 1 mile per hour makes a big difference when you've got cars behind you pushing you. So look for that tonight. And I don't know, Seth, we've got 66 laps. So, and if this is anything like we're used to, so we'll see cars pitting about every 19 to 20 laps. So that makes it about a 3-stop race, give or take, depending on how cautions fall. So it should be interesting to see what's going to happen tonight. And I guess there is qualifying here. I'm so used to just random
Right?
queue.
Yeah, there is
So
actually qualifying, so these drivers are going to be able to kind of determine their fate in pit stall selection and in terms of their starting position as well. As drivers are in qualifying, we get the opportunity here to be able to bring into the booth the operator, if you will, of this series. We're going to be seeing him on track here this evening as well, piloting that number 29, Brian Wolf. Brian, welcome.
Oh, thank you guys. Thanks for having me, man. And thanks for being here for us. I won't take up much of your time here. I'm not sure what you covered. I have the broadcast on, but I have the sound down. But we want to make sure we welcome you guys and let you know, man. With this tonight, man, I don't know what happened, but somebody left the barn door open or something, because we have got a great crowd here tonight. We've been averaging, 15 to 17 cars per week, and looks like that's about what we have tonight. But man, there are some heavy hitters here tonight. Probably most of them. Some of the ASR guys you might not know, but you're going to get to know them tonight, man. These guys are hungry. We've got 1 point between the first two drivers, and I'm not quite sure how many separate the top 10, but yeah, I'm so glad to have you guys, and so proud to have you guys in our little corner of the sim community here. But we've been having so much fun with this. I wanted to, Seth, I'm glad you guys are here, because I didn't get a chance to thank you guys for the job you did last night for Bones, for Dave Cannon's race. That memorial race was just something else, man, and it was so special to me to be a part of that. Because I raced with Bones years ago, and we played golf on Sundays and stuff, and that guy taught me so much on how to be a leader and how to run a series and how to run a league. The only regret that I really have, as far as, because this is kind of a story that I wanted to tell, but in the months leading up to his passing, I was really on the fence about, I wanted to reach out to Dave, because I wanted his advice on how to run this series that we just got started. And, I wanted to invite him over to race, and I never had the time, and now I regret that, that was very special for me last night. You guys did such a great job with that. And I just wanted to thank you for the job you did, and for including me in all that. That was a lot of fun tonight. I think you're going to see some wild stuff, man. We got some crazy guys in here.
Yeah, we were talking about before we ended up bringing you in here about the parity that there's been. I mean, there was a span where I think Rodney had 3 wins in a row, but looking at like the last 6 races, 6 different drivers have gone to victory lane. You mentioned about that single point between first and second, but I'm looking, and even the top 10 in points, they're all within striking distance here down this home stretch, so it could make things very interesting. I want to ask in terms of the mod that you guys are running here tonight, the Aero 88 cars, has has it taken some time to get acclimated to this? What's the comfort level for these drivers here with the Aero 88s?
It is. The comfort level kind of goes up and down as much as you see the different race winners, like you said, man. These guys are, and a lot of the ASR guys here are getting used to some of these guys that have, there's a bunch of Dega heads here. This is all they do. You know what I mean? They race Talladega, and, this BSR track is, a sister track. We know all about that. But our points here really makes it interesting. Our philosophy was to keep the points as close as we could and just do a total points collection. There's no playoffs. There's no winning you're in. There's no, we let the sim score us. So there's 5 points between first and second. And then it goes 1 point increments down to 30th. And then anything after 30 is 10 points, like provisional or whatever. So it keeps it so tight that, that target moves weekly. You know what I mean? So now it's on Chuck Taylor. He just took the points lead over by 1 point. So he's got the target on him tonight. So that's, I can almost feel all these guys doing math in their head. You know what I mean? Well, I need to be ahead of this guy by so many, and I can't let this guy ahead of me by so many. You know what I mean? So they're doing math in their head every lap around.
I can't tell you. You talk about using the overall point system with no playoffs. I can't tell you the number of times I've seen in those type of point systems the championship come down as close, if not closer, as a series that has the playoff system. So yeah, definitely moving chess pieces is what we like to call it when it comes to super speedway racing, and definitely looking forward to that here. Going to be a wild one here tonight. You mentioned a really good turnout here with this field, so a lot of points going to be available here as well for a lot of those guys that are looking to get this championship in 4 weeks. We appreciate you coming here and talking with us, giving us a little bit of a lead-in of what to expect here tonight, Brian.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all, man. I want you guys to have some fun with it. We so appreciate you guys coming on board with us and, helping us get this series and our league, on the map. We've got other series that run through the week, and we really appreciate the coverage, man. We really do. As far as this format, our philosophy behind that was to keep the points, give these drivers a sense of urgency every single week. You know what I mean? So far it has worked out that way. And we haven't really had anything, any too much blood spillage, yet. But thanks for having me, guys. I'm going to get up here and give these guys a little briefing, and then we're going to get after it.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it. Best of luck tonight.
Thank you, man.
Brian Wolf is a former winner here this season as well, along with a number of other names, including Rodney Sullins, Dennis McCarthy as a multi-time winner. He mentioned Chuck Taylor coming in as the points leader. He's a former winner. Brian Rawson, ASR DC 88, all former winners here this season, and we may add a new name to that list here tonight. He mentioned the term Dega heads. There's a lot of drivers that we're used to seeing on Thursday nights. Saw a number of the drivers that we'll see here this evening participate in that Bones 00300 last night. So it's going to be interesting to watch here this evening. For some of these guys, it's kind of like going back to old times, because it was about, 2-3 seasons ago that Thursday nights had the Aero 88 cars. So they're stepping back into some familiar territory.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So, it's going to make it exciting to see. I can't wait to see what's going to happen tonight.
They are currently in the process of having happy hour run down here.
Why was there a between happy and hour? Happy hour.
Happy
it's like
hour.
It's like you were trying to say tapioca.
Happy hour. Now I'm never going to be able to say that the same way again. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You've ruined another thing for me. But they're going to be, as Brian said, as Brian said, he'll be given a little bit of a briefing here, a little bit of a driver's meeting. We'll let you guys know what's on tap here this week. It is a full week of racing. We're going to find that out when they grid up. We'll give you the starting lineup of where the drivers are going to be here this evening. I believe we've got 23 drivers that are going to be taking the green flag in this one, but it is a full week here on the Flatout Racing Network, and also with our broadcast colleagues over at Split Second Broadcasting. Tuesday night, myself and Jack Mitchell, along with producer Jeff Johnson, will be bringing you coverage of the believe it's the second to last race. No, the third to last race of the season. The playoffs, the championship battle really heating up over there. They're going to be in the Windy City at Chicagoland. That'll be Tuesday night, green flag at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check out Split Second Broadcasting both on Twitch and YouTube. Wednesday night, it's the Esports Oval League's Grind Cup Series as they are in their penultimate race of the season. We will be determining our championship 4 at the high banks of Talladega Superspeedway. That'll be at 9 p.m. Eastern. Then it'll be the simulcast for Flatout Racing Network and Tarnation TV on Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The 6th race of the 66th season of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge
66?
Series.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I was not going to mention that, but you just did. And then Saturday night we cap things off as we'll be bringing you coverage of the first race of the brand new season for the Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series, races 1 and 2
Shake and bake.
that evening. So looking forward to a full packed week of racing here on the Flatout Racing Network, as well as Split Second Broadcasting and Tarnation TV. Zeros are on the clock here in happy hour, so they should be getting themselves ready to go to race here momentarily. Again, 66 laps of racing here tonight at Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway. 2X, as Michael alluded to, the fuel window going to be roughly between 18 to 20 laps for these drivers. May end up seeing this race come down to green flag pit stops, so we'll have to wait and see when and if cautions fall and how they will play into the strategy here tonight. Give a little bit of an overview of the point standings coming into this evening. Chuck Taylor is the current points leader. He has a 1-point advantage over Brian Rawson. ASRD C88 sits 16 points back in third. Brian Wolf is fourth, 17 points out, and Brad Otto is fifth, 19 points back. Dennis McCarthy, Perry Bond, Jeffrey Elliott, Robert Spring, and Ed Finley currently sit as your top 10.
Finley? Does he love to fight?
I was just gonna say, I wonder if he likes to fight.
All right, we are gridding up here. Well, at least I thought we were. Everything disappeared.
Yeah, a couple of cars looked like they were on track and then disappeared here.
And I got 6 cars on the field or on the track right now.
Yep. May have a restart here. We'll have to wait and see. I do know that a couple of drivers were having some court issues, and it may be when they got on the track, it may have actually kicked them out. So we'll wait and see here. We might not actually officially have a start. But it looks like Kelly Causey is going to end up getting the pole. Oh, I'm trying to remember. Do you remember who it was that Casey Mears had the throwback to? What was the name of the driver was?
Nope, I do not.
I can't think of it.
We got more cars on the racetrack now.
Oh, yeah, there they are now. Huh.
Maybe they just decided to take forever to... Oh, they're just rendering into frame here, it looks like, unless they're too blinking back there.
Hang on a second. There might have been something on my end. Let me double check.
Yeah, you might want to check your render distance. Oh, it looks fine.
Nope, that's all correct. I'm not sure what exactly is happening. Kelly Causey, Jeffrey Elliott, they're the front row. Ken Roberts, Greg Palmer, row 2. Then Jessica Lorley, Perry Bond in row 3. As we get ready to go green, we'll try and figure out what this visual issue we're having is.
Yeah, it just looks like start going towards the back of the field and see if it fixes.
That's an odd one. I just double checked. My drawing distance is the full 42 cars. So I'm not 100% certain what the issue would be that's causing that. There are more drivers back there. They're just, for some reason, not rendering into frame, as Kelly Causey with help from Ken Roberts, is going to come around and complete the first lap. We'll continue to try and see if we can remedy this issue, but I'm not 100% certain exactly what it is that would be causing it, because everything that I can think of, we just double checked and it appears it is all good to go. Comes Ken Roberts up on the top side with help from Jeffrey Elliott.
It could possibly maybe be a server thing. I don't quite know.
Yeah, I'm not sure either. I do know that we had to put in a different core since the broadcast account was having some quality issues, and my first thought was maybe it reset the draw distance for the cars. We just checked them, and it is set to 42 on both ahead and behind, so it should be showing all of the drivers on track. Unfortunately, that's not appearing to be the case. Right now, it is showing the last car in this pack, it looks like, as the 80 of Ed Finley, but there are another half dozen drivers back behind himself, and Brian Wolf has got one in the wall. There goes Ed Finley around.
Oh, we're not going to be able to see it because he just randomly disappeared.
Yeah, the caution's out, and a couple of cars went down to the inside. They're not even rendering in for me to be able to try and focus on them.
I think maybe you should try to reset.
Try and do a reset here on it.
Your render distance, maybe.
Yeah, let's see if that'll fix it here. As they come back to the caution.
It could very well be a server issue too. So we unfortunately might just have to deal with it.
All right, so it looks like a couple of drivers were involved in that wreck. I believe Ed Finley, Gary Heiser, and Mark Paglia all collected. We're going to see if we can remedy this issue. See if we can figure out exactly.
Because yeah, there's supposed to be 22 cars on the field, but we're only seeing like 10.
Yeah. We're gonna do a quick reset here and see if we can figure out what the problem may be. I'm going to, just to be safe, I'm going to also restart the ticker. Apologies for these issues here, folks. We're going to try and see if we can get them fixed. First time I've ever encountered that before, and I'm not exactly sure what the exact remedy for it is outside of what I've already tried. But we'll give this another shot.
Drivers, to your cars.
Whoa.
Oh, all right, Seth. From what I was informed, it has something to do with the core INI in the server. That there's not going to be anything that we can really do about it. It's Brian did not realize that this was going to be an issue, but there's something that he can't do because we're already racing. So unfortunately, I think it's going to be stuck like that. So it's not on your end.
I'm trying to see if we can even fix the current issue, because I'm having difficulty here with focusing on a car.
Don't forget, you also got to reshare your screen here.
Yeah, hold on. I'm still trying to figure. Ooh, okay, we are having some major issues here.
Talk about even like going back to rewind to look at a replay.
So currently, obviously people can't see it, but the cars are like lurching forward and then going backwards.
So it's a major. So you're talking about major server issue then.
I'm going to try one more time to delete the current core. See if it will regenerate a new one. All right, it's regenerated a new core. We'll see if this fixes the issue, hopefully. Or at least gets us back to where we were at, because where we were at before, it was annoying. We couldn't see the cars, but it wasn't having nearly the issue it was having just now.
Drivers, to your cars.
Let's see if this fixes the issue here. Wait for all the entries to load in.
Oh, okay.
Nope, the problem is still happening. Okay, I'm going to try one last thing. Apologies, folks, for the technical difficulties here. We're going to try as quickly as possible to get back here. Hopefully, by the time they go back green, we are working our first caution
User was
of the
moved to
night.
your channel.
Hey, Godfrey, I pulled you up here so you could explain that to Seth so he can try to fix it. He just regenerated a new core. Seth, you're going to probably have to go into your core file because Godfrey said he has a fix for that.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a line in the core that says net _use _MDM _bandwidth. Bandwidth might be abbreviated too. If it's a 1, change it to a 0. If it's a 0, change it to a 1.
Okay, let me check that real quickly here. Okay, what was the line again?
Net use MDM bandwidth.
Use MDM bandwidth. Got it. Okay. And if
Is
it's
it a 0 or a
change
1?
It's a 1.
So change it to a 0.
Change it to 0.
Okay. All right. We'll give that a go.
All right, Godfrey. Yeah, I'll move you back down there, Godfrey.
Roger.
Thank you, John.
Yes, sir, Seth.
Oh, hold on. Come on, TeamSpeak, work with me here. There we go.
User was moved
All
out
right,
of your
let's see
channel.
if that fixes the issue here.
Drivers, to your cars.
Looks like it sounds like it's loading in cars. Ooh, I think we're in business.
Don't forget to reshare your screen on
Yep.
Discord.
Nope, I won't. All right,
Otherwise,
it looks
I'm
like
calling
we
this
are good
race
to
blind.
go. Hey, John Godfrey coming in clutch.
Looks like I'm calling this race blind. Hey, Seth, what's happening? I don't know.
I don't know. I wish I knew. There we go. All right, so hopefully the ticker is going to update correctly here. I'm just double checking to see if the information on the ticker
All
is
right,
correct, and it looks
let's-
like it is.
All right, scroll through the field. Let's see if we can see everybody, because I still only see a couple of cars here. Yep, there we go. The
Looks
rest
like
of
we're
them on pit road.
Yeah, looks like
Who's
we're
in
good.
the 319? That looks like somebody who was in the wrong car.
Dale Shalinsky. All right. So we are back in business. I will definitely have to make sure I zip up that core file for the future broadcasts here, as we're going to be covering 3 more races of this series. Appreciate everybody hanging with us here, hanging tight.
Hopefully next race he'll remember to fix that himself for the
Well, if
server, so
they-
we wouldn't have to.
Well, if they don't, I'll have the core INI, so it's all
Yeah.
good on that front. So again, appreciate everybody for sticking it out here. Sorry we had the technical problems, but
I blame Seth.
yep, I blame myself too. But big thanks there to John Godfrey for having the information necessary for us to be able to keep going.
Jess was communicating with me about how to fix it, and I just decided to pull John up. So you can thank her too.
Great shout out for Jess as well. Even behind the wheel, working to help out the broadcast here. So we've got the lights on the pace car. We're getting ready to go back green. It looks like, fortunately, all drivers that were involved in the wreck are still running. No DNFs, it does not look like. So we are going to get ready to go back green. All drivers currently on the lead lap. Actually, I believe there may be a driver missing. I just noticed that the 80 of Ed Finley is not currently on the grid here.
Not Finley.
He may have retired out of the race between when we
I
had
think
to
he had a
do
fight to go to.
the reset and coming back in. So Kelly Causey going to get us back under green. Jeffrey Elliott to his outside, and then Ken Roberts, John Godfrey, Greg Palmer, the top 5. Jessica Lorley, Rodney Sullins, Brian Wolf, Robert Spring, and points leader Chuck Taylor. That is your top 10 as we're back underway here. Lap 7 complete. Lap 8 goes on to the board. Smokey Eunuch. That's the name I was trying to think of.
Who told you?
Nobody, actually. It just came into my brain.
Really? Usually things go out of your brain.
My brain's usually full of Spain.
You've got Spain in your brain.
Big shove there from Jeffrey Elliott to Kelly Causey. But what'd you say?
But do you also have 39.5 spiders?
I hope not. One spider is all I can handle. If they're 39.5, they can have the house.
Burn the house down.
That's right.
What's that Jericho song? Break the walls down, burn the house down.
What was that meme where like somebody's poking at what they think is a ball of fur and suddenly it stands up and they take a torch to the entire house?
Yep, it just crawls away and suddenly there's just a torch. And Roberts taking the lead down that back stretch here. Notice he's staying to the inside. I wonder if this is a different setup compared to what the RTG's used to.
Could be, but from what I also remember, Birch Screwdriver's Raceway, it's kind of similar to what the version of Talladega that they have now for Thursday nights is, where the inside line's more prominent if there is a second and a third line. Those two outside lines kind of draw each other back, and you see Lucy Sandoval trying to get something going up there with Kelly Causey leading the middle line. So it's allowing the surge to happen on the bottom, at least for right now. Looks like the top three, Roberts, Palmer, Sullins, are going to get clear. Laura Lee trying to do the same, fourth on that inside line. Looks like all 21 drivers are still in this lead pack. ASR Postal back there in the 7, trailing and trying to stay in the draft, but he may end up losing it. It looks like ASR DC88 is trying to keep him at least within the slipstream to draft back up. If they keep racing side by side, Postal might be able to get back up here into this lead group, however. So we'll keep tabs on him, see if indeed he's able to keep at least within striking distance, get a little whiff of draft there from the tail end of the pack. I was just looking here, Michael. I think there may be a specific car you're going to be rooting for in the field. Robert
Is it
Spring.
because it's the 3?
No, Robert Spring in that 74. On Thursday nights, we see him with the Ohio Buckeyes sponsorship, but here in ASR, Cleveland Browns on that number 74.
Yes, they lost today in what has been their best showing aside from the time that they won so far without quarterback Joe Flacco. Get a chance to play one of their rookie quarterbacks today, and he did pretty well.
So you're saying if you were a coach and the game was over, you'd say, guys, you lost, but you looked great doing it.
No, I wouldn't. I'd say
Okay.
you lost. You guys suck. Why am I even here? This ain't me. I have all the best plays. You're the one who can't execute.
They all work on paper. Why can't you actually make them work on the field?
Yeah, right?
Every time I do them on paper, they work.
As a fellow NFL fan, Seth, to be honest, do you think Joe Flacco should really give it up now?
I don't know.
I mean, to be honest, the dude just throws interceptions. That's literally all he does.
He throws interceptions, but he throws touchdowns, okay? I mean, what quarterback doesn't?
Okay, but for
I
every
think it's
touchdown he
remarkable at
throws,
his age that he's still doing it, though.
for every touchdown pass he throws 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
That's not a good odds for a quarterback.
Well, that's why he only gets the 1-year contracts.
Apparently not for the Browns.
Wait, did they sign him to a multi-year deal?
I'm pretty sure they did because he was on the team unless it was just because he came in late last season.
Oh, I would have thought if it was Flacco, you'd probably sign him to a year-to-year deal.
Oh, and I think they did. I just don't remember I think he came in late last season, and then he didn't get past the first round of the playoffs. I don't think unless that was 2 seasons ago. But anyways, racing. That's what we're talking
Greg
about.
Palmer, look at that. got to the right rear quarter panel of Jeffrey Elliott. We saw Palmer finish second in the David Cannon Bones 00300 last night. And he's getting a shove from Rodney Sullins in the 38. Ken Roberts up there as well. Kelly Causey's playing tricks with my mind because I know that it's based off of how the paint scheme was when Smokey Unick ran that car.
Oh, boy.
Brian Wolf, big save. Had a little contact there on the back straightaway from, I believe, that was the 016 of Adam Simonik, and it looked like he was going to be headed down for all that runoff on the back straightaway, but I think he kept it up above the yellow line. Great recovery. Rodney Sullins now going to lead that lap. But you see Kelly Causey as we come around here to the camera. The number looks like it's right side up, but you look at it here from this angle, it's upside down, at least in relation to everybody else. Brian going to take a look to the outside. That's for third place on Jessica Lorley. Trying to draw up Greg Palmer and Ken Roberts in that second lane. Ulysses Sandoval now on the inside looking for fourth. Looks like a couple of drivers have since lost this pack. We said we'd keep you updated on ASR Postal. He is currently running about about 7 seconds now behind the race leader. It looks like also ASR DC 88 has lost the lead pack. He's about 5 seconds behind the race leader. So a couple of drivers that certainly would be hoping for a caution to be able to get back up here into the lead group.
Roll back to them. Let's see where they at. See, they're not, I don't think they're necessarily.
Now they've just found each other, it looks like. That Dale Jr. throw back there for DC 88. A couple of very patriotic looking cars right there. A lot of red, white, and blue. Right now in 20th and 21st for those two drivers. Still on the lead lap. So they start fanning out a little bit there. Second line motoring forward, a third line trying to build up there. That is Robert Jackson up on the top side in the 034.
Our in-race reporter told me that it seems like the inside lane is the predominant lane, like you were discussing earlier. Like, they had cars and runs and stuff on the outside, but unfortunately, it's still just the inside lane that's going to be predominant.
Yeah, I've kind of been watching this, and it looks like the middle line, or the outside line in this case, it can move, but you gotta have a good, tight draft. And I've been seeing a lot of movement, a lot of side to side, especially in the corners. That breaks up that draft, and that breaks up that momentum. If you can get everybody to be literally bumper to bumper here on the straightaways, I feel like you can get enough of a run off the corner to be able to make a run on the top side down the straight and then into the entrance of whether it's turn 1 off the tri-oval or turn 3 here from off the back straightaway. You see Mark Paglia moving up there to the outside, and that Dale Jarrett quality care throwback number 28.
At about 8 to 9 laps projected for some of these drivers, so we're going to have pit stops in roughly about 8 to 10 laps.
Yeah, everybody did come down pit road under that yellow, it looks like, according to scoring, with the exception of Kelly Causey during that early yellow. So we will more than likely see the 13 be one of the first ones to make the dive to pit road, and he might actually be sooner than others because we probably, while we were having those technical difficulties, probably had about 2 or 3 laps of pacing. So he'd be able to save maybe a lap and a half. He'd probably have to be on pit road within the next 3 to 4 laps, I would say. And the question will be, will there be anybody else coming down with him? You see him stay on the bottom there while a lot of others went up to that middle line. That says to me he wants that ease of access to get to pit road here pretty shortly.
Sometimes you got to know when to stay on the ground here. Look, I just realized Look, there's a Ford Mustang Aero 88 car
Where's that?
right behind the bottom there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't tell what number that is.
Adam Simonic there.
I'm calling him Sanic.
Is he going to go Sanic fast? That's one of the beauties of the Aero 88 cars as well, is there's a lot of different manufacturers that you can run with it. Mustang there to his outside. You got a Ford Thunderbird and Perry Bone.
Perry Bond.
Perry Bone. Contact! John Godfrey and Gary Heiser.
That was such a segue. Perry Bond. Contact!
I say what I see. A lot more drivers have moved up to that middle line. They're making something happen there, specifically on these straightaways. Paglia was side by side with Robert Spring for 5th about 2 laps ago. He's now going to pull up alongside of Jessica Loralee for 3rd, so they're making something happen up there. But again, it's all about commitment. If drivers start bailing on that middle line and jumping down to the bottom, that's going to kill the run that they've got. The commitment has to stay up in that middle line for something to happen and them all to be able to move forward.
Yep, well, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it goes. As you see now, the inside lane still getting a little bit more predominant there through the corners.
Rodney Sullins has deemed that yellow line his best friend right now as he continues to show the way. That was his 8th lap lead here, which currently eclipses the previous 6 laps led by Ken Roberts. Kelly Causey's led 4, Jessica Loralee with 3, and then 1 lap led by Robert Spring of the 21 laps completed. Keep looking back there at that 13 of Kelly Causey, who started from the pole. Haven't seen him hit pit road yet, surprisingly. This would have to be pretty close to, yeah, there it is right there. I was going to say, this has to be right around the window of when he would absolutely have to pit. And he's coming down all by his lonesome.
Never good to pit on a super speedway by yourself.
Well, the good news for him is about 4 laps from now, everybody else is going to more than likely have to come down pit road. Everybody else did come down pit lane under the only caution we've had so far. The problem is they're all here in a pack. When Kelly Causey comes back out onto the racetrack, unless he's able to time it where he merges with this group, he's going to be turning laps all by his lonesome.
Whoa!
Mark Paglia with a big save there, right in front of Ken Roberts, and looked like Greg Palmer may have gotten a little loose there as well through the center of 3 and 4. Believe that might have been the engine of Kelly Causey coming back out on the racetrack. Yep, there he is. He's on the tail end of the lead lap, but you can see he is less than a turn ahead of the leaders. They are going to swallow him up. He is going to try and merge with this group, run some up-to-speed laps in the draft, and then hope that when all these drivers come to pit road that he can cycle back around with them once their pit stop is complete, as we got one down the apron there, Robert Spring. He might actually be pitting. Yeah, there's some coming down pit road right here. Jeffrey Elliott, Robert Spring, Adam Simonic, as well as Robert
Elliott,
Jackson.
If he doesn't get caught, Jeffrey Elliott, if he doesn't get caught for speeding, made a really great run down on the pit road there.
Dale Shalinsky and Brad Otto also on pit road. Yeah, to your point, Jeffrey Elliott, very aggressive onto pit lane entry, is about 5 drivers on pit road right there. Probably see a majority of the field come down, if not this lap, on the following lap here. Rodney Sullins, probably see him on pit road pretty shortly as he's led a majority of this run. Here comes Brian Wolf onto pit lane. Perry Bone as well. Getting it down to 55 miles per hour. Elliott, Spring, rest of these drivers coming back out onto the racetrack as the leaders. make their way on by. These drivers will fall a lap down momentarily. They'll cycle back onto the tail end of the lead lap once this lead group all hit pit road. And this can be a little bit nerve-wracking if you're the race leaders and if you're those drivers merging out, because there's such a huge difference in speed. If you're the driver coming out, you're trying to figure out where do I go to make it easier for the leaders. If you're the leaders, you're trying to figure out and communicate where are you going to be when I come up on you.
Here comes some of the rest of them.
Big group. Sullins, Lauralee, ooh, Brian Rawson locks him up, and he's going to go to the outside of the commitment cone. That may end up being a 30-second penalty for the number 6 Budweiser machine. Godfrey, Chuck Taylor, the points leader, along with Greg Palmer, Ken Roberts, Mark Paglia, Gary Heiser, all on pit road. Looks like the 319 of Dale Shalinski may have gotten either a speeding penalty or may have missed his pit box. This is his second time down pit road. Causey's been able to merge here with Robert Jackson and Brad Otto. And they are trying to close up on the 016 of Adam Simonik. Jeffrey Elliott and Robert Spring, however, they've been able to pull away from that group in their own little two-car tandem as closing in on 40 laps to go. There's Brian Wolf and Perry Bone also in a tandem as these drivers trying to figure out where they're going to cycle to with the rest of everybody else from that last pack to pit road merging back out. Wow, lightning fast pit stop for Rodney Sullins. Look how far ahead he is of Jessica Lauralee, Greg Palmer, and others. He's going to get swallowed up very, very quickly as they've got the benefit not only of being a pack, but also having that tight draft.
Yep. Jess just told me they took 4, which could be why the 38 is so far out ahead until right now. But
they took
yeah,
tires.
Yeah. And they're just going to go by the 39 like he does, or the 38 like he doesn't exist.
I wonder if there's maybe some tire wear here with this track and this setup, which is an interesting one because a lot of times we normally end up seeing at a Superspeedway, when you come down pit road, you normally end up just taking fuel only. Maybe it's the braking zone to the entrance of pit road as well, maybe wearing down those tires. So interesting that drivers feeling it's important to put on some fresh Goodyears as we're going to go 3 wide here. Ken Roberts to the top, Ulysses Sandoval stuck in the middle, Lauralee on the bottom. And it looks like as everything cycles, we've got about roughly 11, make that 12, an even dozen up in this lead pack. Back to John Godfrey in the 7-Eleven. Car up ahead. That's Postal in the 7.
Yeah, there is. I asked our in the race reporter, and she said that there was like her tire wear went down to between like 85 and 90.
Interesting.
And that was after she didn't take tires in her first stop either, which I'm guessing was under that caution.
I had an opportunity to run in a league race over at SMO, their Cup Series race, a couple of weeks ago. And it was one of the few rare experiences at Talladega where you actually did have to be concerned about your tires. There was tire wear, so something maybe that drivers here are not all that familiar with, of checking their F5s, seeing what their tires look like, and having to make the decision of whether to put on some fresh rubber or just go with the fuel-only strategy. Could make things interesting here in the upcoming final pit stop, which is the last one they would have to make projected to get to the finish.
Look at the third lane up there trying to get a good run. Now Jess with the good pit stop got her out front. She's got to watch that apron though, but the yellow line's going to be her best friend unless everybody jumps up behind her.
For Jeffrey Elliott and Robert Spring, we saw them be a couple of the more aggressive onto pit road of the first pack that hit pit lane to begin that green flag pit stop cycle. It's paid out dividends for both of them in this lead group. Most of the other drivers that pit with them currently back in a second group, running about 5 seconds behind the race leader. Here they are, the quartet of Simonik, Jackson, Otto, and Causey. Gary Heiser a little bit further back. Actually, no, Gary Heiser just came to pit road and actually turned left to the garage area. So he'll be the second driver out of the race here tonight. Brian Rawson right now in the 18th spot. And it looks like DC88, who was just moments ago the last driver on the lead lap, has now fallen a lap down as well as Postal and Shalinsky. So currently 20 drivers running, and we'll have 17 of them on the lead lap. Well, maybe make that 16 as they're closing up on Brian Rawson. Most of the pit stops took place somewhere between laps 27 and 28. So they should be able to make it on one more pit stop. That pit stop going to be roughly around the lap 46 to 48 mark, which should give them enough to be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel. However, if you pit closer to that lap 46 mark, you probably don't want to be leading most of the rest of that run, because we're talking about pitting maybe as soon as 20 laps to go. If you end up using a lot more fuel being out and creating the draft for the drivers behind you, you're looking more about your mileage being 18 laps, and that could have you short of getting to the checkers. So it could get a little nerve-wracking here in the closing stage of this race if we continue to trend green. Let's check in on the points battle here. Saw Brian Rawson go a lap down, and that is big for Chuck Taylor, who had only a 1-point advantage between himself and the 6 coming into tonight. Taylor right now on the lead lap in this lead group, holding down the 6th position, trying to hold off Jeffrey Elliott, the number 18 Miller Genuine Draft Machine. Coming off the victory last week, his first of the season. Been very consistent here as well. 4 top 10s in the last 4 races. 3 of those finishes inside of the top 5, and looking to keep that consistent streak going. You know, we talked earlier with the owner of this series, Brian Wolf, and he said, we want to not have the playoff system. We want to put the emphasis on consistency, have drivers feel the pressure every single night. Chuck Taylor has been able to answer the call and been able to find that consistency here, and continues to do so tonight, though he's going to lose some spots there as he gets freight trained by drivers on that outside line. Going to drop from what was 6th now back to 10th, and here comes the middle line. Perry Bond in that number 60. Big shove from Jeffrey Elliott and Ulysses Sandoval. He'll draw alongside of Lauralee going into 3.
Well, she just said, and she's noticed the trend on this, the middle lane will get a good run, but then about 3 laps later, it's the inside that gets back going again. So let's keep an eye and see what happens.
Be interesting to see if Perry can get clear of the 94. Does he drop to the bottom or stay up in that middle groove? Looks like he might be clear here going into 1. Well, he was for a moment, but then the shorter way around the racetrack draws Lauralee back up alongside of him. Uneven in these lanes right now. Only 5 cars on the bottom, about 8 cars up in that second groove, and I believe the 319 of Shalinsky is actually giving a tow to Perry Bond down the back straightaway, but really slid up there. Went a full groove higher than where he was originally wanting to enter into turn 3 was Perry, and that broke up that middle line a little bit.
Yes, it did. It broke it up just a little bit, but still just as fast. Anyways, if you compare the Perry Bond speed to that of the Jess on the inside there, now that there's more cars on the inside, and you'll see now Jess takes the lead again as most of the cars bailed on the middle lane.
Jeffrey Elliott looked like he might be thinking about taking it 3 wide there. Took a peek to the outside of Perry. Now tucks in between the 60 and the 96. Ulysses Sandoval, fastest lap of the race so far here tonight, 47.936, equating to 199.573 miles per hour. So just about a half second under
yellow
200.
Flag. Yellow flag is out.
Caution for the second time here tonight. And if my calculations are correct, this caution coming out, if they pit,
If
they
you go 88 miles
cannot
per hour,
make it.
are we gonna see some serious stuff?
We may very well.
Well, let's see what happened to bring out the caution.
Brad Otto back here by his lonesome, so it may have been the 47. A couple of drivers, depending on how many drivers get the free pass, whether it's one or two, it'd be Brian Rawson, who's in the lucky dog position. If it's two of them, then ASR DC 88 would also get on the lead lap. As let's check back and see if we can figure out what brought out this second caution of the evening, and looks like this was over in turn 3. That group of 4 that we were documenting, they were just trying to push, trying to shove. And Robert Jackson getting into the back of Brad Otto. May have been some checkup right there as well. I mean, that was a super, super tight draft going into the entry of the corner. You saw right there, the 034 steps out just a little bit to the left rear quarter panel, which means he's going to carry just a little bit extra speed into the turn, taking the shorter way around. And that draws him up to the back bumper.
It just seemed like they were just a
47.
little too close going into the corner.
Yep. Trying to do everything they could to stay on the tail end of the lead lap here. We'll follow this all the way down midway down the back straightaway, and
I think those are team cars, right? They look very similarly painted.
I believe they are all Wolfpack cars indeed. Pretty good contact there.
He
with
still hit the
front
wall,
end.
yeah. That was about at least 100 miles an hour. He made contact with that outside wall, so hopefully he doesn't have too much aero damage.
It is moderate
engine damage.
so we will have to check and see if that car is going to be aerodynamically sound and able to stay up in the lead group.
He stayed out.
He did, as did, it looks like, Robert Jackson. Jackson's going to actually lead this lap. Everybody else was on pit road, though. And again, as I said before we cut to that replay, I don't think, no, we can't make it the rest of the way on fuel. We're about 8 to 9 laps short right now, so we talked about it at the beginning of the night. The timing of the cautions may make things very interesting.
Yep.
So Ronnie Sullen should inherit the race lead when we go back green. I believe we're going to have the 034 and the 47 pitting this second time by. We'll also have to figure out who the lucky dog drivers actually are, as pit road should be open this time around for the lap cars. We'll probably see Rawson, DC88, Postal, and Shalinsky all hit pit road. And we'll momentarily then afterwards see who ends up getting their respective lap or laps back.
Here comes the rest of the cars down pit road now. Looks like Rodney Sullins was able to get out of pit road first.
Yeah, Rodney right now in a pretty good tussle with Jessica Loralee for the most laps led. He's actually, this time around, going to inherit the lead and lead his 13th lap. The two were knotted at 12 laps led each prior to the completion of this 39th lap. And it looks like they're going to actually start nose to tail on this upcoming restart with Greg Palmer and Ulysses Sandoval nose to tail in the outside line.
We've got the light still on the pace car. If I was one of those cars, I would pit this time coming to the one to go.
You think so?
Pop off. That way you got to take less gas on their pit stop before the end.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure. So if we come around, we'll be at the completion of lap 40. We'll give the median of what, 19 laps So we're talking about lap 59. That's with about 7-8 to go. Most of the drivers right now, I think, are about 8-9 laps short. There's not much in it. I think regardless of if you just pit or if you come down to top off, I think you're still going to have to take on a full can of gas. I don't think you can get it to be able to take only a half can.
You don't. Well, I mean, I would say you never know, because if you're on the back of the pack, you don't have to use your full throttle.
You don't, but you're also being asked to save 3 laps of fuel.
I don't know if you can save that much, but at the same time,
I don't think you can. A lap, yes. 2 laps, maybe. I don't know about 3.
I would say we should ask one of the best fuel savers in the world on super speedways, but to the 2 lucky dogs on the outside.
So there you go. So indeed, 2 free pass cars here, Brian Rawson and DC88, and that's big for Brian. And the fact he came into tonight second in the points, only 1 point out. And if this race had continued to trend green, he was going to find himself more than likely finishing this race off the lead lap. Now he gets a chance to not only get his lap back, but be up in the pack once again and can try and get back into that battle with Chuck Taylor to see who's going to be the points leader heading into next week's race. 3 races left in the season when the checkered flag waves here tonight.
I was just confirmed what you said. About 7, they're going to be about 7 to 8 laps short, which is projecting 1 can for them.
With that being said, that kind of opens up the window in terms of pit strategy too, because if you know you're going to have to take on a can of fuel regardless, we could see, now projected drivers could come to pit road as late as laps 58, 59. But if you are absolutely going to have to take on a can of fuel, which can get you 10 laps, we could see drivers kind of maybe undercut short pit as soon as lap 56, 57. So that's going to make things interesting. Again, though, if a caution comes out, all that strategy is out of the window. These drivers will have to at least reach the lap 47 mark to be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel on a pit stop. If we end up getting another quick yellow, they still are going to be short of the checkers on what they've got in the tank. So Rodney Sullivan's going to get us back underway. He's led the most laps so far here tonight, 14 laps in front. A 3-time winner here this season, actually won 3 races in a row. Greg Palmer will line up to his outside with Jessica Loralee in third, Ulysses Sandoval in fourth, Jeffrey Elliott in fifth. Perry Bond's going to be in sixth, Ken Roberts in seventh, Brian Wolf eighth, points leader Chuck Taylor ninth, and John Godfrey is going to complete the top 10. There were a few drivers that did come down pit road here at the 1 to green to top off, including the 28 of Mark Paglia. So we'll have to keep an eye on him and see if he plays any type of alternative strategy to the rest of the drivers around him. We've got 20 of our original 22 drivers still running. Currently 18 of them on the lead lap. Posta 1 lap down. Shalinsky 2 laps down as they make their way through the tri-oval and get ready for our second restart of the evening here at Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway. Rodney Sullins back up through the gears will lead him into turn 1. Greg Palmer got a great restart, but Ulysses Sandoval did not. Jeffrey Elliott going to take advantage of that gap in the second lane as he'll jump in front of the 96. Ooh, some blocks there. Sullins up to the middle with Palmer. Elliott goes up to the third line. Sandoval even up maybe to a fourth lane here as we are fanned out from about fourth place on back. Looks like the 47 of Brad Otto might be okay. Up to speed here in this lead group. Had that front end contact into the outside wall in turn 3, bringing out this most recent yellow. looks like he is good to go. Oh, into the wall, Greg Palmer gets the 60 of Perry Bond. Ulysses Sandoval is up and over. Oh, the 47 caught air. Hits the inside wall there, does Brad Otto, and continues to barrel roll. Will land back on all four wheels. But the big one has struck here tonight for our third caution. Adam Simonik involved in this one as well. Jeffrey Elliott appears to have gotten a piece. And there's the driver that I saw shoot out towards the outside wall, bounce back down into the field, Greg Palmer, who was running up inside of the top 5 at the time. Some wild rides, at least a trio of drivers catching air or going up and over. As we'll take you back to the back straightaway and see what happened. Sandoval up and over. Otto went for a barrel roll. Greg Palmer was second on the outside line here, and it looks like maybe John Godfrey pushes up off the corner, kind of muscles Palmer up into the outside wall. When he came back down, he gets Perry Bone. Look how the 47 of Brad Otto popped up into the air, over onto his roof. It was his Sandoval with a barrel roll as well.
So I was just informed that there is definitely wear, and their left sides are wearing more than their rights. So that puts your strategy in of the fuel of the tire things for you, Seth.
It certainly does. And this caution coming out south of that window I was talking about to be able to make it the rest of the way on fuel, we still, if my calculations are right, we still can't make it. Watch the 7-Eleven on the inside line here coming up off the corner. Not sure if he clips the apron or not, but definitely does push up off the bottom. There's Jeffrey Elliott right side of your screen. Sandoval up and over. Look at how
look at
pops Brad Otto up into the air.
He spun around on his top, Ulysses did. He might not have a lot of damage out of that. As for the 47, oh, he has a bunch of damage.
Yep. Back-to-back cautions that Brad Otto's been involved in. See who may have gotten themselves
just a hop, skip, and a jump.
Good onboard of here. That 74 of Robert Spring may have had a good look.
Yeah, look at that logo, baby. Ulysses backed way off, but then still got involved in it because I think he got Maverick braked.
In comparison to a lot of the other drivers involved, a harmless spin if you're Robert Spring. Several drivers have hit pit road. Some are still on pit lane getting damage repaired. Looks like John Godfrey is retired out of the race.
So just a fun fact, real quick. So you know how that we have the 319 car in here, right?
Yes.
Well, that's actually Jessica's fault.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she came in on the 94 out of instinct, didn't realize that it was taken.
Oh.
So Ulysses said he wanted me to mention the fact that he got Maverick braked after I already said he got Maverick braked.
He's one step ahead of you, Ulysses. One jump ahead of the breadline.
Wait, what is it? One jump ahead of the breadline. Oh gosh, how does the rest of that song go?
Ahead of the sword, I steal only what I can't afford. And that's everything.
And that's everything.
Welcome to Disney Karaoke on Flatout Racing Network.
Let's not forget about the dark long of the shoe.
So some split strategy here. Majority of drivers elected to come down pit road, take on fuel, but still short of making it. Other drivers, realizing that there's one more pit stop coming up, elect to stay out and get track position. One of them being the pole sitter, Kelly Causey. Same for Brian Rawson. And it looks like Adam Simonik. And is that Brad Otto still there? Yeah, he's in 4th. I don't think he pit, and that's after he barrel rolled.
Ulysses said he got plowed more times than Stephen Pollard the third.
Well,
Just told me that. Just told me that you would get that reference.
Pollard didn't get plowed. Pollard did the plowing.
I think that's what she meant.
Oh, okay. Shout out to SP3.
Wherever he's at. May he rest in peace. If he's, I don't know.
I don't remember where he's a Boston fan. I know he lives up here in the Northeast. I don't know if he's in Massachusetts or not. Our 2 lap machines are going to get the free pass here. This will put Postal back on the lead lap, and Shalinsky will go from 2 to 1 lap down. So still a chance that we could have all of our remaining drivers still on the lead lap. And ooh, look at this! Look at this! Everybody!
Yeah, you should be able to make it now. Oh, you should be able to make it now, Seth, because you're coming to 20 to go this time.
Yeah, it's right on the mark, right?
And you can save 1 lap.
So put it this way, it's right on the mark to make it unless you're the leader. If you lead the rest of this race, I don't know if you can make it.
Hey, fun fact. Rumor has it that if you rub a bottle of Canadian whiskey the right way, Bret Hart will appear and grant you 3 wishes.
Really? Before he even appears, you just get the electric guitar note. Beautiful Budweiser All-Star Game paint scheme on DC 88's number 88. If you're noticing, a lot of these cars kind of bog down and then pop back up. That's them throwing in the clutch to be able to save fuel here under these pacing laps.
Hey, you want to hear another fun fact? In order to prepare for his role as Strip Weathers in the 2006 film Cars, actor Richard Petty spent 35 years driving in the NASCAR Cup Series. He won a total of 200 races and 7 championships.
And all to prepare himself for the role. That is dedication. So got the lights out. We're getting ready to go back green. It'll be 19 laps to go when we get back underway. Mind you all to stay tuned for the FRN post-race wind down. We'll be talking with our podium finishers here tonight. As DC88 will be the race leader, be the control car. Robert Spring will lap to his outside. Robert Jackson, Chuck Taylor, going to be row number 2. Ulysses Sandoval, Perry Bond in row 3. Brian Wolf, Rodney Sullins, Ken Roberts, and Kelly Causey are going to complete the top 10.
The 88's not going to have enough fuel to make it, I don't think, Seth, because he did not pit under this caution.
Must be banking on another yellow possibly coming out here between now
unless he
and
pit
the end.
Unless he pit the first time by and didn't come back down the top off.
Well, maybe. Would he be able to make it, though, at that point?
No, I don't think he would. That was because they pit with coming to 20 laps to go.
Plus, he's the race leader, which is going to be even worse in terms of fuel mileage. Again, 3 drivers out of the race at this point. Ed Finley, Gary Heiser, and now John Godfrey.
Not Finley. You're right. I'm actually pulling for the Cleveland Browns car.
I figured.
I think I'll sing what's in this. Sorry, you set yourself up for that.
I did. And you delivered.
For those of you that don't know, that's an old Tobuscus YouTube video.
It is. Trapped in the Hot Pockets commercial.
But why is the music so disproportionately epic?
I don't have an answer for that. It just is. Whoa! Greg Palmer around!
And there's the other caution that the 88 was banking on.
Off the nose of Mark Paglia, and Paglia is going to hit the inside wall
Oh,
a
look
ton.
at the damage. Look at the damage on that car.
I remember on Thursday nights we talked about how deceptive the damage model was for the Aero 88 cars, and when you end up seeing visible damage like that, you know that the car is pretty well killed. Massive, massive impact.
We know that
there
these
for the
cars don't
28.
race back.
Yep, frozen field. Robert Spring will bring them back here.
We'll bring them back.
Bring them back. And the pace car will Google them. It's like Paglia may have called a toe to pit road there after that massive hit into the inside wall. Greg Palmer come around under power to receive the yellow. We'll go back and take a look. Just kind of looked like, I don't know if it was the dreaded bumper grab or not, but the 22 definitely goes around off the nose of the 28. Here's a look at it off of 2. Oh, no. Okay. It was actually Postal on the inside line pushing up there off the bottom. And then Palmer up the racetrack, slides in front of Paglia, who then makes further contact. It's the second straight caution that Greg Palmer has had a car on his inside push up into him. Second time he's hit the outside wall.
Yeah, don't really know what happened there. He just came up off the corner like he wasn't even there.
Focus the camera on the 28. Take a look at this impact into the wall on the inside right there. He's going to get redirected, and this is at over 100 miles per hour straight in. And that impact is going to take Mark Paglia out of this race. Looks like Postal, who had just gotten back in the lead lap, he is also going to be done for the night. And Dale Shalinski is going to get the free pass. He's going to be back on the lead lap. Had to wait a while there. Had a few other lap machines in front of him that got the free passes. Got one of his 2 laps back under the previous yellow. Now he will be back on the same lap as the current race leader, Chuck Taylor, in the 18. Chuck looking for 2 wins in a row and looking to extend his points lead going into next week. Looking to be the first repeat winner since Rodney Sullins. And that was back during the month of August. Tough break there for Mark Paglia out of the race. Won the inaugural race of the season. Where do you think these caution laps now put the 88 in terms of maybe being able to make it? Is this the caution that he needed to save enough?
I think so. Although we saw the Browns car come down pit road, so.
Oh yeah, we did actually. You're right.
Yeah, because he was the leader. Now he's not.
Yeah, Robert Spring. Looks like Jessica Lorley also came down pit road there, along with Greg Palmer. Palmer was more than likely for tires after a spin. Here comes Brian Wolf down pit road. So we haven't really talked about this a lot in Superspeedway racing because we haven't had to, but now we're being told that it's a prevalent point in these races. Do you think this is a play by Wolf just now, Lauralee and Spring on the previous lap to come down and take on tires? Maybe have a little bit of extra maneuverability than everybody else towards the end of this run?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Normally don't see tire strategy games at a super speedway, but this might be one of those occasions where we do. Looks like we're going to have another lap of pacing here. So again, remind everybody what's coming up this week in terms of broadcasts. Tuesday night, join myself and Jack Mitchell along with producer Jeff Johnson over at Split Second Broadcasting on both Twitch and YouTube. We're going to be bringing you coverage of the continuation of the playoffs. 3 races left to determine a champion, as we'll be at the Windy City at Chicagoland Speedway for the 11th season of the Great Lakes Racing Truck Series. Wednesday night, we are going to be at Talladega Superspeedway for the Esports Oval League's Grind Cup Series, and we will be determining the Championship 4 that will be battling out the following week at Homestead. Thursday night, we join Blaine Donlin and Tarnation TV for coverage of the continuation of Season 66 of the Rolling Thunder Gaming Talladega Challenge Series. And then we cap it all off on Saturday night with the inaugural race of the new season of the Talladega Nights Shake and Bake Series, races 1 and 2.
Jack and Bake.
I wondered if Chuck Taylor might be coming to pit road here, but looks like he's indicating he wants the inside line for the upcoming restart. There you see the 319 of Dale Shalinski up there to the outside line. Going to get his lap back.
Who, Jess apparently took his number.
Yeah, I ended up, I guess she was told the 94 was open. I guess it wasn't open, so I don't know. I've heard a rumor that triple-digit cars are faster, though.
Yeah, I guess I'll find out.
Would be a big win for Chuck Taylor here. He'd be only the 3rd driver, I believe, to be a multi-time winner this season. The only other 2 drivers that have been able to do so far are Rodney Sullins with 3 victories and Dennis McCarthy with 2. Chuck also looking to extend that points lead. It's very, very difficult in super speedway racing to build a gap, especially when you're in this portion of the season down the home stretch. And Chuck would love to be able to have some breathing space between him and whoever his competition's second in points may be leaving here tonight, and see if he can continue to build on that in these final 3 weeks of racing, looking to lock up this championship. Still a long ways to go in this one, though. 13 circuits yet to be run when we go back green, working our 4th caution of the night. 17 drivers still remain out of the original 22 that took the green flag. All 17 are now on the lead lap. Mark Paglia, ASR Postal, John Godfrey, Gary Heiser, and Ed Finley out of the race. Pace car makes the left-hand turn onto pit road. Leaves the field in the hands of Chuck Taylor, who'll bring them at 70 miles per hour down through the tri-oval, looking up at the flag stand, waiting for the green flag to come back out here at Burt Screwdriver's Raceway. DC 88 on that outside line. Both lines appeared to get a pretty equal launch. Now it's a matter of what happens behind them, and it looks like second car in that outside line, Robert Jackson, did not get a good launch, and all the momentum's going to be on the bottom with Taylor, Bond, and Sandoval off of 2. Here comes Ulysses, looking for second.
Good run all the way down the inside.
He's got help from Rodney Sullins, and look who's right behind Rodney. Brian Rawson, second in points, only 1 point back from Chuck Taylor. All of a sudden, the battle for the points lead is back in. Ooh, Sandoval looking low on Taylor, who went to block. Left side's on the apron there for Ulysses, but he will get to the inside.
We're going to try to side draft like that's a thing in this game.
Trying to pinch him down maybe a little bit there. Cut off his straight line speed off of 2.
You pinch, and then he has no choice but to drift up. That's going to be on you if you
it's
get wrecked.
risky. Ooh, bump there from Perry Bond sends Taylor up the track into 3. Ken Roberts now in the middle.
Oh, don't pinch, please, because that's going to be a wreck.
Ken's trying to find his way back to the bottom behind Jeffrey Elliott. He was there for a brief moment. Moves back up to the top there, though, with Chuck.
11 laps to go. No, actually, I lied. It's 10 laps to... No, I was right the first time.
No,
11
you were right the
laps
first
to
time,
go.
yeah. 11 laps.
I can't math.
Well, you did math, and then you unmathed your math.
And then I remathed.
Never remath. Fully commit.
Never go full remath. This is where...
Dreams are made of?
Sorry, I stopped because I started getting whispered. But now is where the yellow line's going to be your best friend.
That's where Ulysses is right now. Saw a couple of drivers trying to get a third line going further back, including Kelly Causey. Robert Jackson
if
trying
I
to
could
do
whisper
the same.
Ulysses right now, I would tell him straight up, do not give off. Get off the yellow line no matter what you see coming.
Jeffrey Elliott wants to get off the yellow line. Looked like he was thinking about shooting up the middle 3 wide. Couldn't find a path to do so. Still trying to third lane back there is Causey.
This series doesn't have that EXE to control caution laps, so about lap 62 is when we'll have that one to no return.
Okay. Ooh, Robert Jackson. A lot of movement up in that third lane. Here comes Ken Roberts shooting the middle.
God, that's so close.
He'll take it 3 wide with Elliott and Taylor. All of a sudden, the points leader going back, and Brian Rawson has moved up to second or to third place, maybe now looking for second, as he'll follow Rodney Sullins around the outside of Ulysses Sandoval.
Now we'll see if anyone drops to the very inside lane now that they're clear.
Oh, there goes Ken Roberts and Robert Jackson. Oh, big wreck here in 1 and 2.
That was definitely some. Oh, he just jumped. He flipped over. Perry Bond just going there. We will get a restart, by the way. We will get a restart, but that was very close. I want to say that might have happened when Ulysses clipped the apron going into the turn.
Both of the Mountain Dew sponsored cars badly mangled. Roberts in the 55, Perry Bone in the 60. Looks like DC-88 as well as Robert Jackson collected up in this one. Look at the smoke billowing here on the back straightaway.
Apparently there was a good race back to the caution.
It's like that was won by Rodney Sullins. Massive.
Look at that smoke.
Massive impact for a number of drivers. We talk about corner wrecks being some of the most difficult to avoid. They can also be some of the most violent. And that was definitely the case right here. Let's take a look and see what happened. I believe the contact starts between Robert Jackson and Ken Roberts. You mentioned about Sandoval. Let's see if that leads in any way to this contact
right there.
here.
You see, he clips the apron, goes up.
But I don't think he gets the 034 though.
I don't think he did either. I think it just kind of looked that way. But then the 88 flipping over the 034.
Like literally sat on top of his roof. Let's get a chopper cam here. I mean, one possibility is the 034 going up into the 55, maybe in reaction to seeing the 96 who is inside.
So the 034 claimed that as an incident and is parking.
Perry Bond sliding up into
Look at him, just
DC-88.
over his car.
And then count the barrel rolls for Perry Bond. See if there was anybody behind this that would have gotten a good view. I think most everybody would have already gone by maybe the back bumper of the Shalinsky machine, maybe.
Rear chase. No, maybe not. I don't know. Right. Nope. There you go.
There's the button
I was
I'm
gonna
looking
say,
for.
gosh.
Honestly, I was looking for rear bumper. I was looking for the word bumper. Oh! That was Chuck Taylor in the 18. I didn't see him involved. Hold on, the points leader got collected up in this. I don't know if he hits anything. Oh, he gets a bump in the side from Adam Simonik. Yeah, comes down into the 016.
He almost had it saved.
Yeah, they almost did.
Third bump.
That was about, what, 3 bumps there? And, oh, wow!
Oh my gosh. Whoever that was, I think
That
needs a
was
new
Brad
pair of
Otto.
underwear. Brad needs a new pair of underwear after that.
Wow, gracious. That could have ended really badly for Chuck. He got very lucky that there was enough, about a car width between his bumper and that blue outside wall. Because that could have taken him not only out of the conversation for this win, but out of the conversation of leaving tonight still with the points lead. He's still got a shot to get up there, if not a round ahead of Brian Rawson.
I think we could get the one to go this time.
Yeah, we didn't have any lap cars.
So we get the one to go this time, no matter what happens after this restart. The next flag, I think, would end the race.
I think you're correct.
Unless they have a wreck immediately. But I don't think it'll be. But
you mentioned about Robert Jackson going to be retiring out of the race. Ken Roberts has also retired. No official word yet on Perry Bond. I mean, that car was also smoking. Oh, they got him back out there. Look at that. He was smoking, leaving the turn 2 exit all the way down the back straightaway. Had, I would say, double-digit barrel rolls in the infield grass, but they've prepared that car. Going to put him back out there. He's obviously not going to be up to speed, but
I feel like he's not even going to be able to break 4th gear.
Well, I mean, to your point though, if we end up having a caution, race ends under yellow, and he's able to find enough speed to get by those drivers coming back to the start-finish line, right now he'd be projected to finish 15th.
Is he a lap down?
No. He's on the tail end of the lead lap, so he's going to be right behind everybody.
They didn't get the one to go this time.
Nope.
Thought for sure they would have.
Looked like Chuck Taylor came down pit road. I would assume that would be for tires after he had that slide out of turn 2 onto the back straightaway. Is
Godfrey out of the race?
Yes. Right now, the driver is officially out of the race. Robert Jackson, Ken Roberts, Mark Paglia, ASR Postal, John Godfrey, Gary Heiser, and Ed Finley. So this absolutely now puts us into the point of no return with at least the extra lap of caution we're going to have here. We'll hopefully get the lights out next time by. There were no lap machines, so there will be no need for the awarding of the lucky dog. We're going to have 15 drivers still running, all on the lead lap here for what's going to be our final restart of the night. We'll give the usual disclaimer that we always do around this portion of the race. If a caution breaks out before the leaders take the white flag, we will watch the race back to the caution, and then we will go back and look at any necessary replays post-race. Same deal for if they take the white flag. We'll keep it right here with the leaders. Any necessary replays we'll look at post-race prior to the FRM post-race wind-down, where we'll be interviewing our top 3 finishers.
All right, Seth, who do you got?
I'm not doing this. I'm not
Yes, you
putting the
are.
commentator's curse
Yes,
on
you
anybody.
are. Go ahead, make a pick.
You're winning this.
Cool.
Are you in this race?
I'm here.
But are you in the race?
No.
See, I've already commentator cursed you. So the way they're going to line up here for this final restart are as follows. Rodney Sullins on point. Brian Rawson looking for his second win on the season. Looking to take the points lead into next week. Second. Jeffrey Elliott in third. Jessica Lorley in fourth. Ulysses Sandoval completes the top 5. Greg Palmer will be 6th. Brian Wolf in 7th. Robert Spring 8th. Adam Simonik is 9th. And Kelly Causey looking to go pole to win completes the top 10. Rest of the drivers running. Brad Otto in 11th. Dale Shalinsky now up to 12th. DC88 13th. Perry Bond 14th. And Chuck Taylor right now in the 15th position. Points leader coming into tonight currently sitting 15th. Second in points, 1 point back outside of the front row. We'll have to see if that gap can close up during the course of these final 4 laps.
The inside is where you want to be, and I was just told that Ulysses actually is damaged and may not have some good speed on that car. So Jess is actually kind of looking to see if she'll be able to get to the inside, but I feel like that's the same thing that's going to happen for the 6. You know, the outside lane isn't really where you want to be because the inside is a little bit more dominant. So
remember, Ulysses had that barrel roll in the back straightaway.
Barrel roll.
That would more than likely be where that damage you're talking about would have been sustained. Well, here we go. Rodney Sullins is one of 2 drivers that has led double-digit laps here tonight. 21, about to be 22 laps out in front in that Black Rifle Coffee Dale Sr. throwback. And he will be bringing us down to the green flag for the final time here tonight. 4-lap shootout to decide at Burt Screwdrivers Raceway.
Big time stack up on the outside.
Kelly Causey trying to make something happen up there, trying to leapfrog a couple of drivers, including Robert Spring and Greg Palmer. Really spread out there off of turn 2.
Jeffrey Elliott going to go to the outside. That's going to leave the bottom open. And there goes Jess going to try to go to the inside, but she's not going to really have a lot of help because Ulysses, like we said, is damaged. As you can see, he's not able to really close up the gap.
Brian Rawson got left out. Now he'll find a hole in front of Sandoval. Goes from 2nd back to 4th. And now, to your point, it's kind of protect the bottom time if you're Rodney Sullins. If they go to the outside, okay, well, you really don't want to give up that yellow line. 3 laps to go. And a number of drivers have kind of faded back from the pack there, including Kelly Causey, Brad Otto. Chuck Taylor's a long ways back there in the 18, so it looks like he's not going to be leading the points after tonight.
Jeffrey Elliott is peaking every now and then, but he's not making the move yet. Can't wait too long to do it.
It's all about timing. If a caution comes out, you may have a full lap to make a move. You may only have about 100 feet through the trioval to the start-finish line.
Yep, there he goes. He was looking at it.
Peek. He's testing the water, seeing if anybody else kind of reactionary moves up there with him. Doesn't look like any takers as of yet. Now Brian Rawson takes a peek in 4th. 2 to go.
All single file behind the 38. So if one person makes a move, the question is going to be who goes with.
Rodney looking for his series-leading 4th win on the season. Won 3 in a row back during the latter portions of July into August. Jeffrey Elliott in that 56. He's looking for his first win.
I don't know if Jeffrey will be able to make a move off the corner, if he's going to wait to try to see if the 38 will slip up and give up the inside lane.
Jessica Lorley and Jeffrey Elliott both looking for their first wins. Brian Rawson looking for his second. They will make it to the white. So 2.66 miles going to decide this thing.
Jeffrey has got to make a move down the backstretch, I feel like, in order to even have a shot at winning this race.
11 drivers in this lead pack. All still have a shot at this depending on what happens at the front. Sullins continues to hold the bottom. Elliott trying to build a run. They're trying to make something happen up there with Adam Simonik. Here comes Sandoval. Here comes Rawson. 4th place on back, trying to form an outside line.
Again, Ulysses doesn't have a lot of speed. We'll see if he can get pushed there. Elliott going to wait to the last minute to even try to make a move, and it's too late now.
Laura Lee tries the top side here on Elliott. Sullins keeps it pinned to the bottom, coming to the stripe as a little contact for third. We got one around back there, but it's going to be Rodney Sullins leading the most laps tonight. Win number 4 on the season for driver 38.
Sorry, I didn't mean to laugh.
Jeffrey Elliott will bring it home in 2nd. Jessica Loreley in 3rd. Rodney Sullins picking up his 4th win. Bit of a winless streak going back a couple of months, but back in victory lane here tonight after leading a race-high 26 circuits. And you said it earlier, Michael, that yellow line was going to be the leader's best friend. They tried. Multiple drivers tried that second groove.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
couldn't
again,
generate the run.
It couldn't go nowhere, but it also really didn't help that Jeffrey Elliott, who was the 2nd place car, didn't really even try to make a move until everybody else was already up on that outside lane.
Big win there for Rodney Sullins, and see him parking there in the infield, right above that decal, the Brian Freeman decal there. And he will be momentarily bringing that machine into victory lane, his 4th checkered flag of the season here in the ASR Super Speedway Series. We had that wreck coming to the checkered flag. Let's see if we can find out exactly what happened there. I believe it was the 74 of Robert Spring that went around in the tri-oval. And he's going to get a little assistance, it looks like, from the 13 of Kelly Causey. Causey finishing in 10th. Spring crosses the line, almost Ross Chastain-esque earlier on today at the Charlotte Roval. Almost in reverse, didn't quite get across the line, but he does cross the line there, just ahead of Chuck Taylor and Brad Otto. Taylor going to finish in 12th position here tonight, 1 week removed from his victory, so he is going to unfortunately lose the points lead going into next week. Rawson, who finishes 4th, will more than likely be the new points leader.
Our 3rd place finisher says that she is not feeling well and doesn't want to do an interview, so we are more than welcome to interview the 4th place driver instead.
Okay.
She said do it before he leaves because he doesn't know it.
Alrighty.
Nope, he just left. Never mind.
Oh, okay. But Brian Rawson finishing behind our podium finishers. Ulysses Sandoval going to bring it home in 5th. Adam Simonik in 6th. Brian Wolf 7th. Greg Palmer was 8th. How about that 319 of Dale Shalinski? He was 2 laps down earlier in this race. Got the lucky dog in back-to-back cautions, and he brings it home in a top 10 run in 9th. Kelly Causey 10th. Saw him and Robert Spring have that contact coming to the checkered flag. Chuck Taylor, I'm not exactly sure what happened to Chuck. I didn't see him get involved in any wrecks outside of that contact between himself and Simonik, and even then I didn't see him make contact with anything, but he appeared to be off the pace in the closing stages of this one. The points leader going to finish tonight out in 12th. Brad Otto, that car was up and over a couple of times this evening. He still manages to finish under power in 13th. DC88 led some laps, finishes 14th. Perry Bond, that machine, they still managed to get him out there to finish on the lead lap in 15th, and he was the last driver to finish, as Robert Jackson, Ken Roberts, Mark Paglia, Postal, John Godfrey, Gary Heiser, and Ed Finley all finished out of the race before the conclusion of tonight's checkered flag. That's going to take us into our FRN post-race wind-down. And let's see if we can dial up our podium finishers here this evening. Let's get a hold of the guy that brought it home second place, Jeffrey Elliott.
User was moved to
Hey,
your
Jeffrey,
channel.
it's the guys up here in the FRN booth. Got a copy?
Hello, guys. How you doing, Seth and the gang?
Hey, wild race here tonight. Wild finish there. We ended up seeing some pretty aggressive double wide, three wide racing in the early going, maybe kind of testing the waters for later on in this race. What little more, you kind of go back and replay that final lap, could you have done to get around the 38?
Well, you know, I love Jessica. I just didn't know she would go with me. Everybody loves Rodney Sullins. You know, he's a very popular guy. He's won a few races already over here, so I'm looking for a new winner. And I was hoping, you know, I just didn't know if anybody would go with me, so I didn't want to get a freight trained, and so I just I tried a little bit, tested it a couple of times, you know, a lap or two before, but I didn't feel it, so I just stayed behind the man.
Yeah, we saw you testing the waters there in those final few laps, trying to see if anybody was going to take a peek and go out there with you. We ended up obviously seeing you gain a ton of track position with that round of green flag pit stops, maybe one of the more aggressive ones onto pit road, and that gained you a bunch of positions, had you up in that lead pack after the cycle. Also saw you pretty doggedly trying that middle line, even on some occasions that third line. We were seeing how it seemed like it was a little bit more predominant, that inside line, but if they could get lined up, get organized, that outside line could work.
Actually, with this setup that they orchestrated with the new setup and a new track a couple weeks ago, it's actually all three lanes can work here, like Talladega Night Speedway. All three work, as you know. This one does as well. So if you have the cars up there, any lane can work, especially that third lane. But tonight, it seemed like the low lane was the place to be. But like I said, it's really it's the volume for each and the type of driver as well. If you got good pushers, you got three guys on the top lane, you can hang out there for a while for sure.
3 races left to go. We mentioned that you're coming into tonight 36 points out of the points lead, but a number of drivers that are up there at the top of the point stands having some trouble here tonight. Our points leader finishing outside of the top 10. Third place finisher also finished outside of the top 10. I believe 5th did. 6th wasn't here tonight. So opportunity to gain some ground. What do you think? Get some more momentum, keep these podium finishes coming. These final 3 races might have you in the conversation for the championship in the finale.
That'd be awesome. It's been a while. Actually, last week I stepped out of the car and joined Blaine in the booth, so just took some provisional points, but I'm glad I'm still in the running. So, yeah, I'm going to go for it. It's a fun little series on Sunday nights, and it's growing. And tonight was some pretty good racing, and I enjoy it out here on Sundays.
Well, a great run for you here this evening. Solid podium finish in second place. Jeffrey, congratulations on a solid run here tonight. And before we let you go, we'll turn it over to you for some thank you sponsors and shout-outs.
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank you, Seth. Last night I was on there at 5 o'clock with you, and you did an amazing job, man. It was 100% hit in the broadcast. Your production was amazing. And the whole evening, it was very special. And I just want to say, man, congratulations on doing a great job. And I just want to thank everybody that's coming out here to see Brian. Check out Brian's Talladega series. Want to thank my lovely wife, stand behind me, for allowing me to race so much. Because as we know, we start up next week ourselves. So it's going to be busy racing. But that's pretty much. Thanks for the guys out here like Rodney and Ken, all these guys. Jessica, I'd like to get a few more out here. We'll try to help Brian out. If he wants more, we'll try to get some more people come out here on Sundays.
Well, we're certainly looking forward to the start of the Shake and Bake series on Saturday. We've already been plugging that, so looking forward to that next weekend. And congratulations once again, a great run here tonight. Hopefully we see you be able to keep this momentum going down the home stretch of this season.
10-4. Thanks a lot, Seth. You have a great week.
Jeffrey Elliott, second place here tonight under the lights
User
at
was
Burnt
moved out of your
Screwdrivers
channel.
Raceway. Let's see if we can dial up the four-time winner, Rodney Sullins, down in Victory Lane.
User was moved to your
Hey, Rodney,
channel.
it's the guys up here in the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
What's happening, fellas?
Hey, 29 laps out in front, leading that final lap, picking up win number 4. Not a bad night here for this number 38. Michael was talking about it seemed like in the closing stage of this one, that yellow line was going to be the leader's best friend. Was there any point, though, when you started to see the 56 peeking out, maybe seeing a second line form from fourth on back, that you thought, maybe I might have to come off this bottom and try and block a run?
100%. Yes, I was watching it intently. I know we come off the corners a time or two, and I don't know if Jeffrey just drifted up just to, so he wouldn't scrub some speed, or if he was just looking outside to see what Jessica would do, but I was watching him and I'd go up with him. So straight mirror driving from that restart on, pretty much.
Timing of these yellows made things interesting a couple of times in terms of fuel. We eventually ended up having a caution come out where you guys knew you were good to make it the rest of the way. But, what kind of strategies were you mulling over there when we ended up having an area where you guys were going to find yourself about a can short?
Well, we went back in and topped off because I went and hit the caution before and then went in again and topped off. To where we were going to be short, and I'd already, I guess, on that one restart, when I restarted about 8th or 10th, something like that, I'd already decided that I was just going to ride around in the back and see, what would happen. Because I had it down to, was it 2X or 3X? No, it was 2X, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Yep, 2X.
I had it down to where I could get a splash to make it to the end. But that was going to require some burping, and just drafting. And that's what I was going to do. And then when that caution came out, I was like, well, that's it. So no worries. So let's go racing now. And that was it. But yeah, it was going to be concerning had it went green from that point on. It was going to have to be a little bit of staying in the back and just riding around and saving some fuel.
Now, I know that super speedways are unpredictable, but as the broadcaster, I have to ask this question. Going back to late July, when you found your first trip to Victory Lane this series, you followed it up with back-to-back victories after that, leading to 3 in a row. You're back to Victory Lane here tonight. Can you do it again?
I'm going to try. I missed the last, I don't know, at least 2 weeks, I think. I haven't been here. I enjoy it here on Sundays. It's a lot of fun with the guys. It's a good group of guys. So, yes, sir, I will certainly try. Why not, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Rodney, congratulations on your 4th win on the season here tonight. Dominating performance the second half of this race, leading the most laps and bringing it home. Picking up the checkered flag here this evening at Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway. Well, let's get back to your celebrating here in a moment. But first, we're going to give you the opportunity for some Victory Lane thank you, sponsors, and shout-outs.
Well, I appreciate that. Seth, Michael, first and foremost, I want to tell you guys what a fantabulous job you guys did last night. That was awesome. It was a great show. I hated to miss it, but I tuned in to most of it. I was able to. But that was a great job honoring David Bones Cannon. So I wanted to make sure and let you guys know that. But obviously, thanks to FRN. Seth Cole, Michael Norman for broadcast tonight. I can't wait to go back and watch it. Starting in the rear and making my way to the front. It's fun sometimes, sometimes not so much. But ASR and the owners and admins here, I know Wolf and Chin and all the other guys here. I think Ken helps out on Sundays, but even the guys that do this league on the nights that I'm not here, we appreciate them just for keeping the league going. So I want to thank Jeffrey Elliott and Jess. They ran well with me there at the end. Didn't make it too hairy there at the end. So we just kind of made a few moves, and when it didn't happen, that we just all kind of kind of did our thing to make it back clean, and I appreciate the clean racing. Thanks to my RPM teammates, Black Rifle Coffee, Havana Brisa, Wickers, Dad, my cousin Eric. I know y'all weren't able to watch it live, but if y'all are catching up, I hope you enjoyed that. Love you guys, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, Rodney Sellens here tonight picks up his 4th checkered flag of the season here in the ASR Superspeedway Series. Congratulations once again. Best of luck here down the remainder of the home stretch of this season as maybe you look to tack on a few more.
Well, thanks, guys. Appreciate you.
Rodney Sellens in victory lane here tonight
User was
at
moved out of
Burnt
your channel.
Screwdrivers Raceway. Just want to give a couple of shout outs here in the closing stages. Obviously a big shout out and a big thank you to Brian Wolf for bringing us on board to cover the final 4 races of what is looking like it's going to be a very, very interesting championship battle. And also a shout out once again to our broadcast colleague Jess, as well as John Godfrey helping us out with our issues here in the early going. Apologize for those technical issues. We should have everything squared away and ready to go next week and in the final 3 weeks here covering the close of this Super Speedway series. But again, appreciate the all hands on deck helping us out there with those problems. Should have everything squared away for next week, which will be coming back to you here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time next Sunday night to cover the 14th race of the season. 3 races left to go before we crown a champion. Michael, a wild one here tonight. Kind of a little return to the past for us with seeing the Aero 88 cars on track at Burnt Screwdrivers Raceway, but that mod and this track never seem to fail to deliver another exciting race here tonight, and I appreciate you joining me in the booth for it.
No problem. It was fun. Glad to be here. Can't wait for the next time.
Thank you all for tuning into our coverage here this evening. We'll see you guys next Sunday night as we continue on the run to the championship here for the ASR Super Speedway Series. For Michael Norman, I'm Seth Cole. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night as you've been watching another broadcast courtesy of FRN, the Flatout Racing Network.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of Flatout Racing Network and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of Flatout Racing Network and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. Flatout Racing Network would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoyed